Let's do it.
I'm going to count us down and start the show. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Incompatible with Kat and Michael, episode 12. Big one tonight, Kat.
Yeah.
We have here with us a comedian, podcaster, radio and television personality, David Smalley. And David is no small deal, I will tell you. On his podcast, he has had huge names, particularly for me. You know me, Kat. This is a big deal. He's had Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Michael Shermer, and Penn Jillette on the skeptic side.
Yeah.
But Dave, because he's an open-minded guy who likes having conversation, he's also had famous Christians, and Christians in particular, who make news for maybe being a little bit zany or something like that. But he's had Brian Fisher, who I know who that is, from the American Family Radio. He's had Frank Turek, who's debated Christopher Hitchens. No small deal for me there either. Plus, he's had Republican politicians and whatnot. Dave, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me, man. This is great.
Okay, so this is David C. Smalley. The C stands for Clyde,
Clyde,
which is an ill middle name.
Yeah.
It's so strong and masculine.
It was my dad's first name, so they just swapped it and made it my middle name.
If you do you have any? Sorry, this is really personal right out of the gate. Sorry, but would you carry on the name if you were to have a family?
Probably not. Maybe. I don't know.
Clyde's
I
cool.
do. I mean, I have a daughter. I don't think she would have appreciated that. Being named Clyde, but
How old's your daughter? I didn't know that.
14.
Oh,
Wow.
precious.
Young
Precious.
adult.
What's her name?
Talissa.
Talissa.
Yeah. You know, we did carry on her middle name. Her name is Talissa Renee.
Okay.
My sister's middle name is Renee, and then she named her daughter with the middle name Renee. So we've sort of carried on a different name like that. But
Certainly.
not quite.
So there's some family history there.
Yeah.
When's your birthday?
January 10th.
January 10th. Are you a Capricorn?
I am.
Fuck.
Oh no, a Capricorn.
It's just
David,
gonna
why
be-
didn't you tell us before you
It's
came
gonna be
on?
no, it's fine. I love you guys are great. But
This is so prejudiced. I don't even.
it is.
Totally prejudging me based off of something I have no control over.
I'm scared. I'm.
You know I'm a protected class. Capricorns are a protected class. You can't speak to me this way.
I'm afraid that it's gonna with an Aries and a Libra. It's gonna be 2 against 1. Anyways.
I mean, actually, the fact of the matter is that you and I were on an amazing show as comics.
That was really good. Sold out. There was actually was a line waiting in standby that was like 20 people long, and like all these like really rad comics kept like blazing by, like Neil Brennan and Fahim Anwar, and they were just like, who? Like, why is there such a long line for standby? And it was like we pointed to the marquee, like David Smalley.
Yeah.
It was cool.
You know what's awesome? So something happened to me after that show.
Yeah.
Theo Vaughn sent me a message on Instagram and was like, yo, I'm down to headline for your next show. Let me know. And he's like, just let's confirm 2 weeks out. And I was like, what?
Whoa.
Yeah. So I'd asked him a long time ago, and he's like, I'm busy.
Yeah.
But right after that show, he was like, I'm down. Let's talk about it.
I think everybody noticed that show was banging. Yeah. It was at the Comedy Store, by the way, for the record, on the Sunset.
At the Valley Room. Yeah, on like a Saturday night. Okay, so, but just to clarify, we asked you, you're very funny, but you know, there are a lot of funny comics, but you're in alignment with what we're trying to create here. So in this podcast, Incompatible, I assign Mike Frank a chore or a task, just something of a spiritual nature every week. It could be as like minor as like lighting sage in his apartment to something like really in depth. Like I'm in a planet where we like go to a sweat lodge at one point.
Yeah. Oh. Wow.
So you said that you would do the podcast. So being integral player to the skeptic online presence that you have, I thought it was an alignment because I feel like I always have guests that are maybe a little bit more on my side.
Okay.
And this would be a different
Yeah, we need someone on our side.
Yeah, you know what I typically do on my show is I interview people and talk to them and like entertain their ideas without necessarily agreeing with them in a respectful way.
Yeah.
What you're doing on this show is you're living it.
Yeah.
And you can be as you can be as disrespectful as you want.
No, you gotta be as disrespectful. You can only be to a degree. But when she says stuff like, we had somebody, my brain exploded 2 weeks ago. We had a gentleman on who was telling us that he dated a shapeshifter. And Kat said, I believe her 100%. And my brain exploded. A second-hand account of a shapeshifter was all she needed for 100% belief. That's
See,
where she's coming from, logically
believe that.
speaking.
Here's my thing. I wouldn't even believe that you believe that.
Yeah.
I would just focus on you and start asking a series of questions
You know what?
to challenge
David,
your
I don't
belief
even.
in that.
You don't know me. I don't believe that you believe that I don't believe.
All right, here we go.
There's the skepticism.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay, as I'm resting. So
Yeah.
our task today involves the Bible, which I'm so excited
And there's a reason
about.
for that.
Yeah,
we should
of course,
point out
of course.
that David has a history with the
But-
Bible. He's coming out of evangelical Christianity.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
It
but
coming out, it's
it's been
roughly
years.
16 years ago.
But exactly the first 16 years of your life. Good luck trying to unlearn all the damage that bullshit does.
it took a while.
You know.
It took a while, but success.
We were both raised super Catholic too,
Yeah,
so
we
we get
were.
it.
Okay. Well, you guys probably didn't have a lot of Bible pushed on you.
No.
As
Catholics are not into the Bible.
No.
We
It's
didn't
usually
even go
usually
near
the
it. Yeah.
catechism because
Yeah.
the Pope knows better
Yeah.
than Jesus.
Yeah,
typically.
that's true. Huh?
And so evangelicals focus on the Bible, but the Catholics kind of ignore it.
Yeah,
Some-
altogether. And I'm going to point out real quick because I forgot that actually this is an extra special week because we have Grammy Award-winning record producer Sheldon
Yeah.
Gomberg behind the board running the podcast today. We're in his studio.
We're in
It's
new
so-
environments, and it's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
And
Thank you.
Plush rugs.
and he has
and-
he has an open mic. So if you want to say hi real quick, Sheldon.
Hi, real quick, Sheldon.
Oh, then you know what? Turn his mic off.
But
All
Sheldon, this is your second time on our podcast. You remember when you called up
Oh, correct. Looking for
episode?
pizza.
Yeah, and did you obey me? Did you obey my suggestion
did.
of Hill?
I did.
What'd you get?
You mean what type of pizza?
By the way, Sheldon called in and asked for a pizza suggestion, and Mike Frank answered it inexplicably while we were recording a podcast. And Sheldon was just like, "Hey, what pizza place should I go to?" And instantly I was like, "Lucifer on Hillhurst.
Yes.
It's my favorite."
Oh.
Lucifers, how apropos.
What did you order, and did you love it?
I don't remember what I ordered, and I liked it.
All right.
You guys, story I gotta tell you.
No, we're not going to
No.
any deeper into pizza.
Yeah.
This
No,
is-
no, no,
we're getting
we are.
back to the
Cheesy
Bible.
subject.
No, we are. You can't.
Oh,
Don't try to confine me. Don't try to hinder me. Definitely Lucifer. There was a time where I ordered so much from Lucifer on Friday nights that the pizza delivery boy he was a man, but boy, it's
Sure.
it's sexier, it's more porny to say the
Okay.
delivery boy.
Yeah.
He we had a rapport because I would answer every Friday night in my robe. And he'd see two cats meow, and I'm like, yep, one large pizza all for me Friday night. Love you. But yeah.
Okay, we'll have to edit that out. Now, on
Why?
to the Bible.
Why?
I'm kidding.
Why
It
would
was
we
a
edit
fine
that
story.
out?
It's a great
No,
story.
go on with
Great.
whatever jewels you're going to bestow on us right now.
Well, I was
Let's
going to
hear
get back into interviewing our guest. So you came out
it. It's
of...
actually time for me to talk about the whiskey, isn't it? I think so.
I was
Because-
about to ask you what was resting on the Bible there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Because you understand rhythm and structure. My whiskey, because you picked up for that earlier because you're observant
Yeah.
and you have good partnering skills.
Wait, he'll get to know you. He'll change it.
So I'm resting my whiskey in communion cups on the Bible. But the reason every episode we devote a portion of it to review a whiskey because I am a single malt specialist Scotch master. Some say whiskey sommelier. It's a whiskey expert. So I was with the Glenlivet, which is the Coca-Cola of whiskey, for 2 years as their single malt specialist Scotch master, and then I jumped ship.
What do you do as a Scotch master? You taste it? You smell it? sniff it?
Everything.
What's the
Just everything. Trainings, tastings, dinners. There's some account management, presentations, a lot of public speaking, and then I jumped ship from Scotch to American whiskey at Balcones. I'm bragging because I'm a comic, yes, but my whiskey credits are so much more impressive.
Okay.
And so I was at the Balcones for a year as their distribution retail area manager, hiring.
I don't know
sales.
anything about alcohol. Like I told you guys before, I've literally never had a shot ever in my life.
Right.
I've drank a
Sorry
little
for
bit.
being cranky with you, but that's just what's going to happen when you tell me to shut up.
I actually didn't tell you to shut up.
I
I'm
can't,
glad you heard
I
that.
I can't move on until I say I'm sorry for being
Okay.
cranky.
You're forgiven.
Thank you.
David, I was telling you this before the show. You are by 1900 standards, a sober person.
Yeah.
That's what teetotaler. Teetotaler means somebody that abstains altogether means because people used to think that if you just drank beer and wine, you were actually sober. You
Yes.
weren't a drinker. That it was the hard alcohol that made you a drunk. And it wasn't until somebody somewhere had the idea that no, you have to abstain from alcohol totally. T, capital T, total. You are a T totally abstaining from. So the fact that you just drink that you just drink beer and wine, actually by standards of yesteryear, you're sober.
Literally been drunk one time in my life, and I was 21.
Wow.
And my mom took me out. I had 3 margaritas. Puked all night.
Oh my God.
Where?
Hated it.
What city?
Oh, this was in Texas.
Yeah. What city?
Everman, Texas.
What establishment did you have 3 margaritas
It was called
at?
Schultz's. You've literally never heard of it, and it no longer exists. It's now called something like the Armadillo or something. But yeah, it's a tiny town, and 3 margaritas, and I was done. I vomited all night, and I've not had hard liquor past these lips since that day.
Wow, that's really interesting. For one, I will say that I haven't been drunk in 1 week. So
you guys,
congratulations. Here's your chip, by the way.
And I had a very similar circumstance. My first time getting really, really wasted, I was 15 years old, actually, because I was a good kid. And my friend's parents went out of town, and he scored a bottle of Absolute vodka, which we heard if you put it in the freezer, it tastes better. So we put it in the freezer, which makes it taste like nothing. Yeah. So that night we took it out of the freezer, and we started chugging it like water. It tasted like nothing. I was like, I don't know what the big deal here is. It's nothing. And I had this girlfriend, Rhonda, and she kept saying, drink more. I want to see you drunk. I want to see you drunk.
That's weird.
I ended up at a concert on the beach.
Why would she want to see you?
Can
we stop?
Rowdy Rhonda.
Why would she intentionally want you just mentally incapacitated? What's going on there?
Rhonda,
could you imagine if a guy said that to a woman?
I know. I want to see you
drunk, baby. I just want to see you wasted. Why? Why? Why do you want to see most of my?
Because she was in love with her boyfriend, and she wanted to see him in all
his glory.
Glad things didn't work out with Rhonda.
So I probably should have gone to the hospital and had my stomach pumped. I was passing in and out of consciousness on the beach. People were dumping buckets of water on my head to try and revive me, man. And for 15 years after that, I could not smell hard alcohol.
Really?
If somebody walked by with a hard alcohol drink, it wasn't until
I wonder if while you were laying there on the beach, passed out, having water poured on you, drooling, if Rhonda was like, "That is so hot." Like, is this what she wanted?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe she had like a weird Florence Nightingale syndrome. She wanted him like incapacitated so she could nurse him. As I'm clutching this whiskey to my breast.
Okay, let's do the whiskey tasting.
Yeah. So this is the first Indian whiskey that I've reviewed on the podcast. They're kind of taking it over. There's American whiskey, there's Scotch whiskey, of course, there's Irish whiskey, Canadian whiskey, but like hot on the tails is Indian whiskey, and this is Paul John, and the color when you pour it is almost orange, and when you talk about as I mentioned earlier, the terroir of whiskey, which means of the earth, you can taste kind of what its surroundings are. This is from Goa, India, so it's southern.
Can I smell it?
Yeah, please be my guest.
I'd like to.
So it's super tropical.
Yeah, it's actually quite delicious. I've been.
Do you like it?
I do like it a lot, and I would say that I would love to pair a bottle of Paul John with a bottle of George Ringo, and
okay,
failure.
Right.
Speaking of editing, we'll cut that out.
We don't cut any of it.
Yeah, we don't need to cut anything. So this is non-chill filtered, like him. Yeah. No chill, no filter. That's him.
I like it.
It's cask strength, and I was shocked tasting it just because to me this is like pineapple juice. Like it is. I have never tasted anything so tropical and so smooth, and yeah, I'm crazy about it. And anyways, they bestowed us with a freebie, and this bottle retails for like $100. So the Paul John Classic. Thank you, Karai, who is the brand ambassador. He's really cool. He's Turkish and like very like an intellectual and kind of a Renaissance man, really. But what do you guys think? Chime in.
I like it.
I like it.
Is that
big fan? Very smooth. It goes down nice, but has that whiskey sting that I like so much in the throat.
As a whiskey aficionado, the term smooth bums me out. It's so basic.
Okay,
is there anything else you can say?
Basic before. You know my palate's not strong.
Shelley, what do you think? Anything? But here's the thing: with senses, you're not wrong. Whatever it is to you is right.
I kind of felt it felt a little fruity.
Nice.
Does that make sense?
Perfect.
Yes.
You're right.
That's
on
what you
money.
were telling me before the show.
Exactly.
You said tropical.
I have never tasted anything with more tropical fruit influences. So pineapple and mango and coconut and Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Guava.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of guava, a lot of mango. Yeah, it's really exciting.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people say that you're bananas, so that makes sense. Okay, we're going to move on to today's assignment, which we chose to. What are you upset about? She's upset, folks.
You're just always sweeping me under the carpet. It's fine. It's
okay.
fine.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
raise your game. Now,
He's shooting for sweeping you off your feet, but obviously he's just missing the mark.
So cute.
in for the save.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
Yes. So this week's assignment, because you and I grew up Catholic, and could you just close the Bible for a second and read the front cover?
Yes,
No, it's not of that. I just want you to read. There's something on the front cover that I think.
Was this when you were confirmed?
No, actually, it was when my grandmother died.
Oh.
They gave everyone a Bible
Whoa,
to
this
remember
is really
her by.
intense.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it says Michael Francis Regilio emblazoned right out of paper moon almost.
Yeah.
Can I see it?
Michael Francis Regilio.
Oh, okay.
It's the Good News Bible, which is a Catholic Bible. But Dave, you came up in the as an evangelical, and you were no small. You were in.
I was
man.
in.
You were the
I
real
was a part of
deal.
the music ministry. I was knocking doors. I was winning souls.
So
That's why when I saw
what's
this
your
book,
script?
When I saw this,
you ring my doorbell. I open. What's the script?
well, I was like 16. I don't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
I said, I'd like to talk to you about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Oh, great.
And one lady slammed the door in my face, and as the door was closing, she goes, "Honey, you need Jesus." Boom! And I was like, what if she's right? Like, what if I have the wrong version of Jesus and she's on the other side with the real Jesus, and I'm out here destroying people because she has the right version? I was like, they gave me a jersey and pushed me out on the field, and I don't know any of the plays. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I better go read this book, understand what's going on, so I can actually solve these problems and find out which Jesus is the right Jesus and actually win souls for real.
Wow.
And so that's what really launched my journey. That, and when I got baptized, the preacher, he could probably tell in my eyes, I was like, what did I just sign up for?
Yeah.
Because he leaned down and he goes, son, you can't just say you believe. You have to know it to be true in your heart. And I was like, I don't know shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I'm going to go save everybody else when I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So I felt like a lot of pressure to put on a teenager that was completely ignorant of what he had just signed up for.
Well,
so I was like, I don't want to be ignorant. I want to know the facts. So I literally read the Bible cover to cover, went on a 14-year journey, and I was like, I'm going to get close to God. And I got so close, I saw that there wasn't one to get close to.
You got so close, you were like, there's nothing there.
Yeah, I'm all alone. I got to figure this shit out for myself.
I had that
flew
moment
too
too.
close to the sun.
Yeah. The son of God, that is. Now, that said, interestingly enough, my journey began when Monty Python first started coming on American TV, or at least when I was a teenager, there was a revival of it, and it came back, and I started watching. And my dad came in one day, and he's like, God damn it, I don't want you watching this shit. And I was like, why? He's like, I don't like the message. And then I went head over heels. I fell in love with Monty Python, and it was the meaning of life. There's a scene where they're in church, and the priest is going, oh, Lord, you are so great. We're all really impressed with you down here. I sure can tell you.
It's subversive.
And I went to church that Sunday, and I went, oh, my God, that is what we're doing. We're just kissing God's ass. And in that moment, I said to myself, I'm not a Catholic. I'm still a Christian. I believe in God. I believe in the whole thing. But this Catholicism, no way, man. I'm not into it. And it was maybe 6-7 years later in my apartment in Boston, Massachusetts, 23 years of age, literally staring at the ceiling, that I said, you're not up there, are you?
Oh.
There's nothing up there. Yeah.
But
So
maybe
that was my way
that's
out.
why you
Yeah.
don't believe in any of this fun stuff now, is because you were so let down.
Or maybe that there's no evidence to support any of the things you believe in. Just a
That's
bunch
okay.
of fluffy pink cloud language that you use.
There are some cornerstones of Christianity that are beautiful, such as faith.
No, faith is not beautiful.
No, it's not beautiful at all.
Faith is believing something in the absence of evidence.
Yeah, it's just hoping something is true
Right.
because you want it to be true.
That's what faith is.
Yeah.
So you
But why
don't
it's not
need it. You
beautiful,
just
though?
have
Yeah.
you just have
Yeah.
faith. I can't give you an example of faith. I can only quote a well-respected theologian, Dr. Wendy Wright, and she said that as a small child, watching her daughter leap into the arms of her father is her definition of faith. She knew she'd be caught.
Well, here's
she
the
knew
thing.
she'd be loved.
Well, here's
she
the thing.
knew she'd be supported
Here's the difference.
and cared
Her daughter,
for.
her daughter can see the dad. She
Yeah.
can judge the distance. If he was standing
Yeah.
across the street, she wouldn't have jumped.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If they said close your eyes and Dad just walked away,
Yeah.
it's not the same thing.
Or if there was the edge of a cliff and they said, Dad's definitely down there, he's going to catch you.
Yeah,
And
go for it.
Yeah, that's faith. That's
Yeah.
stepping off the cliff. And then all the bad that comes from faith as well. It really does
But here's the
nothing.
thing. That's poetic and it's beautiful.
Absolutely.
And if you stop thinking about it right after she finishes talking, you can go,
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
But then when you start right after that, the seconds that follow,
Yeah.
you start thinking about the dangers that someone could get in. I was just on Jay Moore's podcast, More Stories, and
Are you serious?
Holy
smokes.
Yesterday morning, I was at
You're
his
a big
place.
deal.
Wow.
He's a
I just-
friend. We've been
What are you
friends for a
doing
long
with
time.
us?
It's-
We're small potatoes.
No. Listen, this story came up where this woman said, or this girl, the 16-year-old girl, they asked me to take her down the street to get a key or whatever, so she was in my car for like maybe 4 minutes, and I go, here, put your seatbelt on, and I put it on. She goes, seatbelts don't even really matter. I mean, you know what? I mean, you got to have faith. If it's time for God to take you, he'll take you. If he doesn't want to take you, he won't take you. And I'm like, wow.
Fine, don't wear your
So now
seatbelt
I'm
then.
thinking, she's a Christian child, right? It's not my place to start talking to her about
Yeah.
beliefs, but at the same time, she needs to put her damn seatbelt on, right? And so Jay's advice was, he goes, I would have said, I'm God in this car, put your damn seatbelt on. And I wish I'd have thought of that at the time. But what I said to her was, I said, well, maybe God invented seatbelts so that you would make
Yeah,
decisions
yeah.
to stay safe.
Yeah.
Put your seatbelt on,
Yeah.
right? And so, because then she started telling me a story of her cousin who died last year in a car accident, and he was wearing his seatbelt. And so she's like, if you're wearing your seatbelt and God wants to take you, he'll take you. And if you're not wearing it and he wants you to live, you're going to live. It doesn't matter. Have a little faith. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's dangerous.
Yeah,
it is
insanely
incredibly
dangerous.
dangerous. So there are times when that faith that appears poetic and beautiful can have horrible consequences.
Yeah.
And that's that's kind of what I'm fighting against.
I mean,
that's,
it's,
that's
you know,
the story of Pandora, right? Is that she let all of these horrific things off into the world, but she had one left, and it was the greatest evil of all, and that was hope or faith. Yeah.
Well, way to disprove your point.
so mean.
It's an. I mean,
Terrible person.
She had a moment of recollection. That,
You're right.
No,
and you
it's
should nourish
no,
that.
But no, I love.
You should nourish that so
hold-
she continues.
Oh my
but when you
God.
punch her when she's down,
No,
she
no,
just
no.
puts walls up
No, but
and goes,
it's-
screw that guy.
But it's so I love you for
Ugh.
I love you for like getting me and seeing what I'm going through and saying the words nourish. He says, you know, you're building a case and I'm not. I'm like this is a one-sided argument. I'm not arguing with him. Like I am 100% certain that I am like sublimely right.
Can I ask you something,
Yeah.
though? And I realize it's your podcast interview,
no,
but I'm
please.
so
Yeah.
curious.
Do it.
Just kind of my natural thing. Is there anything that would change your mind about this stuff? Like, is there?
I don't think so. I literally
Yeah.
I cannot and I have a wild imagination, but I can't imagine anything that would
Yeah.
change my mind about there being an afterlife, that there being infinity for us to experiment with perfection, with a reuniting of all of our loved ones after death, with just have you ever taken ecstasy?
No. I've never done any drugs
Yes.
at all.
Oh, we're going to have to talk about that. So I'd love to hear.
Had
God,
a bad time.
well,
Surprise,
yeah.
surprise.
No, that's not
Crazy guy.
surprising.
No,
I
know,
would
that's why I
never
said-
want to do mind-altering substances in front of you. You'd be such a anvil.
Yeah.
But
okay.
2 years ago on New Year's Eve, my ex-boyfriend gave me some Molly, and I felt so ridiculously good. And it occurred to me, like, oh, this is like everyone has the capacity to feel this good at this time. Like this is synthetic. That's kind of a bummer. But like this does exist somewhere on some plane, you know. String theory. There are infinite possibilities happening around us at all times.
Well, what I'm getting at is like let's go with something basic like crystals or
Yeah.
something that
Okay.
you believe that like have some sort of effect or whatever. I think as long as the risk is low, it's easy to say you believe.
Yeah.
But I would challenge that you believe as much as you think you do, because, for example, if someone were to say, this crystal gives off more energy than any other crystal in the world, and it's going to be life-changing for you, I'll trade you your car for it. I doubt that you would actually put that into play. You'd be like, back off.
Okay,
Yeah.
but that
Right? Wouldn't you require evidence
Yeah.
for that, though?
100%, and that's
Okay.
because the
So there's-
people, the personalities that are attracted to these kind of woo-woo things, fuck them. I would rather buy a used car from a like guy with 666 tattooed on his head, like a
You
full.
mean your ex-boyfriend?
What are you talking about? No.
Sorry.
But like I would rather like buy a used car from like somebody that's just like, I am a murderer and I worship Satan and I like
Where is she going with this?
rather than somebody that's like one of those guys in Venice that's like, oh, here's my amulet and here's my like, cuz like there are a lot of people that are like attracted
But
to
how do you know the difference? And why do you think they prey upon people like you?
Because it's such a easy, vulnerable thing to exploit.
Exactly.
Of course.
What an admission.
Do you think that I don't know? Do you think Thank you. I'm holding your hand. I'm holding your hand
It's
because
fine, it's
I
fine.
feel like you understand me on
I
a
do.
level that he has not gotten to yet.
No, I get it. I understand.
But you're coming from the same place.
Sure. And a lot of times on my show, like sometimes I'll ask a question that the preacher or whoever's never really thought about before, and they feel like on the spot and embarrassed, and I'll just go, you don't have to answer that right now. Let's just make a note. We'll come back to it later. We can have you back on the show. Do whatever research. I don't think it's necessary to pound it in the dirt if you find that moment.
My answers can sound embarrassing, but I promise you I'm not embarrassed.
No,
I believe you. Yeah.
I always make the analogy. I tell her that her crystals and all that stuff, it's Dumbo's feather. It is clearly Dumbo's feather to me. And I will tell you that I had her watch Carl Sagan's explanation of astrology, which I'm sure you've seen.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
To which she said with piss and vinegar, it fortified everything I believe. So there's no winning with her. There's no way. If Carl Sagan explaining astrology,
I literally
fortified.
felt that in some areas I was a little bit smarter than Carl Sagan.
Okay, now I get to say, do you see what I'm dealing with? Do you see what I'm dealing with? Do you see what I'm dealing with? So, okay, let's get into Bible dipping. Yeah, let's Bible dip. Let's explain Bible dipping real quick. Kat initially, I'm going to just set this up super quick. Kat initially wanted to pull fairy cards for this episode, which is a deck of cards, and you shuffle it, and you pull one, and there's some magic in it or whatnot. And then I said, well, what is? I don't understand what this is. And as she was listing other things like it, like tarot, she said, and like it's like Bible dipping. And I was like, what is Bible dipping? Yeah. And so Bible dipping, actually, why don't you give an explanation of Bible? But when she said Bible dipping, and I thought David Smalley, I thought that is actually a much better assignment for this particular episode.
Why didn't I think of this?
Yeah,
I know.
So why don't you explain to us what Bible dipping is, Kat?
Okay, so Bible dipping is just like an affectionate like nickname for bibliomancy, which is considered a sin. It is forbidden by the Catholic Church and other sects of Christianity and Judaism, because it's like magic. It's like the word is here. This is how you learn it, not through.
I think it's only magic if before you do it you say Mecca Lecca High Mecca High. If you don't say that, it's not magic technically.
Temple of Doom. All right.
No, he was actually a Pee-wee.
Pee-wee's Playhouse. Yeah, much lower brow.
Yeah. I don't know. I saw Temple of Doom not long
Thank you
ago.
for
It was
getting
pretty
that,
lowbrow.
I know. Thank you for getting that for him.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
I'm
here for you.
So like divining rods and just random acts of magic. I guess it's considered like kind of pagan or.
So people use the Bible to do it, but you're not supposed to because it's a sin. And so the idea
in like certain sects,
I still don't think they understand what it really is.
Sorry. Yes. Okay. So bibliomancy is just using old texts as a tool for guidance. So it's just like you open it randomly, you ask a question, you move your finger along the page, you open it, that is your answer, that's your guidance.
It's a magic 8-ball.
The Iliad was used to do so it's not it's
just fun.
Right. So and the Bible was used, but then people wanted to split hairs and be like, no, like don't do that. But Bible dipping, I heard the phrase from a work of fiction, Augustine Burroughs, Running with Scissors, like 15 years ago. And that's how I heard about it. I don't know how other people might come across it.
I want to see you guys do it.
Shall I do it? Yeah, I'll do it first.
Please.
I can't wait.
So what you're actually doing is you're going to balance the Bible on its spine.
So you balance the Bible on its spine and you let it fall open to a random page.
That's the table of contents.
Sadly, you can see that Bible has never been open.
You can play with it.
My preacher once said, if your Bible's in good shape, you're probably not.
And then I'm going to ask mine aloud because I don't feel embarrassed. I'm going to ask, oh my God, will I get this whiskey job? This one that I'm up for. I've had an interview. I have to send a follow-up email. Like, will I get this one? Okay.
What's the Bible verse, first of all?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Uh-oh.
battles against Philistine giants, and I don't know the Bible
Ooh, that
by
sounds like
heart, but
David.
I know the Philistines are like the modern day
Trump supporters.
No, I mean Philistines. Yeah, Philistines are just they're people that don't that don't have that they're maudlin. They don't have a taste for culture or exquisite taste. Yeah. Okay. All right. Fine. Okay. So later on, war broke out, and again with the Philistines at Gezer. This was when Sibbecai from Hushah killed a giant named Sippai, and the Philistines were defeated. Okay.
Hold on. So whoever has the job that you want, you have to murder them.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what this tells me.
No big deal.
But hey,
awesome.
That's cool because if you're like modern day equivalent as Trump supporters, the Philistines are defeated. That's a good idea, and I don't know how this applies to my question.
It does.
At all.
It's well, I mean, are you surprised that this is not an
battles
exact
against...
science? I'm going to do it on my lap, even though you said I shouldn't, because
I'm
gonna. I find that the whole line about Trump supporters and whatnot helped focus my question, and I was, as you know, a very big Bernie Sanders supporter.
The Philistines were defeated.
You know he's running again.
Yeah, and so it seems very apropos, and I'm just going to ask the book. I'm going to let it fall open on a random page. Okay, done. Will Bernie Sanders get the nomination for the candidate for president of the United States from Democratic Party?
Boom. What's the verse?
Actually, can you read that? I can't.
Oh.
Too dark in here for my old eyes. Kat's going to read it. What does it say?
May all go well with you.
It's a lock, baby!
I swear to God.
2020!
Maccabees
Hindsight is
11,
2020.
12, 33. May all go well with you. Dated the 15th day of the month of Xanathicus in the year 148. Who knows what that means? Doesn't matter. May all go well with you.
Yep.
That's where your
Bernie,
finger landed.
baby.
Oh, that's exciting!
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm not surprised. Dave, would you like to ask the
I kind of feel like
Catholic Bible a question?
I kind of feel like we could get the same
What do you mean
results
you're not
with fortune
surprised?
cookies.
Oh,
a little bit.
We'd get better results, more accurate results. Somebody put thought into a fortune cookie.
All right.
Yeah, no thought went into the Bible.
So I just went through a very public, not to my, it wasn't my choice. Went through a very public split in my relationship.
Oh no.
How long were you
Sorry
dating?
to hear that.
Oh God, no. We divorced in 2011.
Yeah.
But we didn't really make everything public until just recently.
Oh, I
see.
Okay.
And I didn't. It wasn't my choice to make it public.
So were you
long
still,
story.
like, seeing each other
No,
and
it's a
sleeping in the
long
same
story.
bed,
No,
or?
no, long story. So I would like to get rid of that situation and find a very, very nice lady.
Okay.
Okay.
So I want to find out if
Oh.
I'm going to be. If I'm going to
Is
find.
your next lady right around the corner?
Is she right around the corner? Am I going to find a very nice lady to be? Are you ready? Okay,
I'm ready. All right.
So it's
We can
open?
just say yes. That's common sense.
No, not at all.
We'll just
I
say
might
yes.
No.
become
Like-
asexual. Maybe I'll become gay. Who knows? We don't know. Boom. All right, here we go. I'm Jeremiah 34:12. Then the Lord, the God of Israel, told me to say to the people, I made a covenant with your ancestors when I rescued them from Egypt and set them free from slavery.
Wow, that is
Should I
really,
keep reading?
really interesting.
I mean, yeah,
I think it's interesting.
it's how it gives you an answer.
I mean, I
Well,
told
set
them
you
every
free.
7 years. Oh, it's going to be 7 years before I find her. That's what it is.
Or it's been roughly
So
7 years since you divorced, though. I mean, 8.
It's been 8.
I mean,
yeah.
but I mean, when in
Told them every 7 years they were to set free any Hebrew slave who had served them for 6 years. But your ancestors would not pay any attention to me or listen to what I said. Just a few days ago, you changed your minds and did what pleased me. All of you agreed to set your fellow Israelites free.
I mean, the idea is freedom from your pain, maybe. So
I think
you
I'm
find
going to
love, or maybe
I think I'm going to find a nice Hebrew woman.
yeah, and enslave
In
her.
roughly 7
and you
years.
enslave her for 7 years.
I
She
think
tries
you're
to
going to find
leave.
the real deal really fast. Your light's on. You've been married.
My
You've
light's
been a
on. What does that
parent.
Yeah.
So men are like cabs, and when they want
Wait, cabs.
Taxi cabs.
Oh, I thought you meant Cabernet. Okay. I was like,
Little tart.
They're
dark and bitter? What do you mean?
full-bodied,
What are you getting at here?
But yeah, so when you want to find the real deal, your light comes on. You know what I mean? So your light is on.
Yeah.
So you are going to meet somebody who's also, she's hailing. You know what I mean? And you're going to pick up.
I like how she walked away from the Bible dipping and just went into her
Sex
spiritual,
in the City,
or whatever.
Yeah.
And by the
Sex
way,
in the
it's
City
just, I will
is a
take-
relationship
because
Bible.
Thank you. And because I'm determined to make this an expression, we decided some weeks back that Kat was talking about her car, and she said, my check engine light is on. And I said, that describes you so perfectly. If anyone says, what do you think of Kat? I'm going to go, her check engine light is on. So since you said the light comes on, I have to keep driving that home.
Expensive.
I want that to catch on. Yeah.
Just, just reliably gives you the signal that I need some upkeep.
It's very bright, but you never really know what the problem is.
Yeah, exactly. That's Kat.
Is that?
That's
Well,
not,
we
that's
tried
not
Bible
me.
dipping. Did you learn anything from Bible dipping? Do you think there's anything to it?
Absolutely. I learned that the Bible is just as unreliable and discredited as it was when I walked in the studio.
Yeah.
And you can't really trust it for anything, which is probably why it tells you in the Bible, lean not on your own understanding, but trust this book.
Yeah,
because it doesn't want you to think about what it's saying.
Yeah.
I will say the one Bible verse that I think is useful and could probably be useful for this show is 1 Peter 3:15, which is always be prepared to offer reasons for what you believe, but do so with gentleness and respect.
You're psychic.
I think-
Isn't he psychic?
I think
Clearly psychic.
I think
He's
even
psychic.
that's one verse that I think even atheists could probably.
Yeah. No. And I like. You
take
know
a
what? I
look
like
at
that. I like that. I will say that that Bible dipping is exactly what all of this stuff is. Is you get out of it whatever you want to get out of it. You can read that passage to mean one thing or another, and you can, when you hold your crystal, if it feels good, it feels good. When you look at your astrological charts, you see what you want to see.
That's pretty holy. You get what you give.
No,
That's
he's saying what
pretty-
you want to get out.
Yeah.
Of it. So like
Yeah.
if you walk into it with a certain mindset,
Yeah.
you can be satisfied if you want to be satisfied.
Absolutely. You'll read into it what you've already decided you're going to read into it. You are the arbiter of your destiny.
Okay, that to me sounds like you get what you give.
Okay.
Which
Well,
is
let's close it up with Kat telling us
sacred.
what she got out of Bible dipping.
Well,
I prefer
I
skinny
think
dipping.
I-
That's for damn sure.
Depends where.
I know.
Yeah.
And that's a younger me with a better body that liked it nowadays.
You know what? I've got to say, even in my 36-and-a-half-year-old body, at any temperature, I do prefer skinny dipping.
Over
to
Bible dipping?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Every dude listening to this has just gone, all right.
we're in the Arctic Circle. Let's
Yeah.
skinny dip. Let's do it. But I'm not a gambling woman, but I would never bet that there's any one thing that will be the thing that makes you think like maybe there's something more, something up, something divine. But I think that it's a brick. And I don't want to use like a wall analogy. I don't know. I feel like it's a minor ingredient in a delicious cake that like one day you're going to see like the souffle rise and you're going to have this moment of like it was all important. It meant something. And and it was all leading up to this, and it was not all for naught.
I honestly would say that there is something bigger.
Yeah.
But it's not spiritual. To me, the something bigger than me is all of humanity. That connection that you feel to whatever you're feeling is to other people. There is a greater purpose, which is all of us collectively. I mean, there's something known as kin selection. Why would a prairie dog give out a symbol or a loud noise, or a signal, I should say, when an eagle is flying? He could just go to the hole and save himself. Why does he care about his cousins? It's to pass on.
Cousins.
Yeah,
the
it's
prairie dog's cousins. I love it.
It's to pass
Oh my
on
God.
more of the DNA collectively.
Yeah.
And it's known as biological altruism. It's a real thing.
Absolutely.
And so I think, when you think about this connection that you feel to the earth or to other people, or this idea that something's bigger, it's okay to say there's something bigger, and then it's all of humanity. It doesn't have to be a floating man in the sky with a beard that tells you who to have sex with.
That made me. It just made me think. I have a friend whose father is a pastor. Her name is Waterfall. Like this. And her father explained to me the cross. Symbolically, there's the vertical one, which is the connection with the divine, rooted in the earth, and then the horizontal is your connection to your brothers, humanity. Isn't that beautiful?
I thought it meant they were just really serious about math at Catholic school because they nailed a dude to a plus sign.
I was going to say, yeah.
I wasn't really
It's not a plus sign though. It's decidedly not a plus sign.
Okay, well, one way or the other, that guy came up with that after the fact. He looked for a reason to make the cross beautiful.
Pouring more whiskey. Even with our beautiful guest that sees eye to eye with you, and you're just like blah blah blah.
Okay, thank you, Kat. I was in a juice bar.
You thank her for that. Thank you for that.
Thank you for it. Yeah. This is why I get hate mail, by the way. She encourages it. She's like, "Isn't he terrible? Write in." I was at a juice bar not long ago, and there was not just a cross on the wall, but the graphic one with the body of Christ with the crown of thorns and the blood.
The swimmer's body.
Yeah, and I said to the employee, why do you have a graphic representation of a human being tortured to death on your wall? And she was like, what? I go, I don't know. It's just a juice bar. I just want a juice, but I have to look at a human being tortured to death. She goes, where?
Man.
And I was like, right there. And she goes, no, that's a cross. I was like, lady, there's a man with nails through his body and he's bleeding from his head.
Starving
I love that
out.
you did that in real life. And let me just say something real quick. Do you remember those truth campaigns where the guy would show up with a box like to the post office? Yeah, and he would be like, they're like, what's in here? And he's like, carcinogens and nicotine and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And like, you can't ship that. And he's like, it's just a carton of cigarettes.
Yeah.
And it made you think, like, what the hell is in this stuff?
Yeah.
That's essentially what I try to do with the Bible on my show, like with my guest. I'm like, would you believe if it said this and this? And they're like, oh, that's awful. And I go, well, open to Maccabees. Let's go have a look at Ephesians, and we dive through and find that stuff's actually in there.
Yeah. But
David, and a lot of times it rattles people.
I agree with you, and that's very important. But like whiskey, you distill it. Can't you distill the good from the bad and just slough off all the bad bullshit?
No, because you know what? You know what that is? If you get rid of all the bad bullshit and just take in the parts where you love each other, you don't need this. It's called humanism.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You can love and respect everybody and be there for your neighbor and care about people without caring what side of the river you live on or who you should have sex with or which way an animal is facing when you slaughter it to kill it. Mm-hmm. It's all bullshit. You don't need this to be a good person.
I fully agree with you.
Again, Dumbo's feather. It's Dumbo's feather. You didn't need it. If you are a good person, you're a good person because you're a good person, not because you read the Bible.
But are there any, like Psalm 23 is so gorgeous, like is there anything that you still carry with you because it's beautiful?
Sure, just like I told you about 1 Peter 3:15,
yeah,
being respectful
I don't know
to
it.
people.
Okay, tell it again.
No. It's always be prepared to offer reasons for your beliefs.
Okay, give me another one.
But do so with gentleness and respect. I'll say there's a story, it's either in Mark or Matthew, about the vineyards, the vineyard workers, where people are coming up and working for all day, and then other people come in the 11th hour, and some people come in the 10th hour, the 9th hour, and they all work, and they all get paid the same. Some worked for 12 hours, some worked for 1 hour, they get paid the same amount. And then they start throwing a fit, going, wait a minute, why are you paying that guy the same that you paid me? And the vineyard worker basically says to them, the vineyard worker basically said, did you not agree on your self-worth and your own value before you saw what they were paid? Why does this change it? So some will use that as an argument to say, know your own self-worth and don't let the other people around you dictate your self-worth. Other people flip that and say, it's about fairness. I agreed because I thought that's what the value was, but if you're going to pay one guy the same amount for 1 hour that you paid me for 12, you're now devaluing me. Yeah. So it's an important topic of discussion as far as that goes.
It actually sounds very similar to a libertarian argument about illegal immigration. But that said, a topic for another day.
But you clearly still interpret many aspects of the Bible in a beautiful way.
Including the he who has cast no sins cast the first stone. Who has never sinned.
You don't seem angry about it. Like I gotta tell you, pal o' mine. Sometimes you seem really angry at Catholicism, and the more I get to know you, it's like, dude, that's because you were fucking duped. Like you were super duped from a young age. Yeah.
To be continued.
Are you being a time Nazi again?
Yeah,
shut it down.
Again. I'm going to shut it down.
No, I mean, but 40 minutes is just when I get warmed up.
I know. Well, actually, it's not the 40 minutes. It's the third whiskey that's got her warmed up. But that said,
but you don't seem angry at it at all.
He's not Catholic. He's evangelical.
Yeah, but that's okay.
You know what I mean. Sorry, Christian. We all had the same text. Catholic, evangelical. Why do you think that you don't seem angry at it and resentful? And, I feel like Mike Frank has a real angry allergy to Christianity.
I understand what it's like to be in the situation of belief, and I understand how good it felt to have that connection. And so I don't think the person is actively making a decision to say terrible things to me or to say terrible things about the LGBT community or to make justifications for slavery. I don't think that whatever they're saying is because they are the bad guy, right? And I'll put it to you like this. If you're at home and someone breaks into your house, you know you're the good guy, they know they're the bad guy, and they don't belong.
Totally.
But when you both think you're fighting for good, you both think you're the good guy. So when the person is sitting across from me trying to win my soul, they don't know that they're the bad guy. They think they're trying to help me, right?
Yeah.
But they see me as the bad guy, and I have to understand that. So I think me being more gentle by asking them questions and trying to get them to ask themselves the questions that I ask myself through a Socratic method of sort of fact-finding and why do you believe that? And I know that's your answer, but are you okay with that? And are you going to be able to go to sleep tonight with that answer? I feel compassionate toward them. I feel compassion that they still believe something I've been able to let go of. So to me, it's just a lot more effective to ask questions and let them come to their own realization that maybe they don't believe as much as they thought they did. If I go at them with a hammer, whether they're wrong or not, they're going to put up walls. And if they put up walls, they're going to believe it even longer. I would just say to you, Michael, that I think I totally understand a lot of people who come out of religion tend to be really upset at first because they do feel like they were duped or they do feel like they were lied to. And what I've said on my show a lot to people is you don't have to be angry at the people who told you those things because they honestly thought they were helping you. Yeah. Like they thought they were doing the best thing for you. So understanding that they did that out of love, even though if it was wrong guidance, they thought they were doing something wonderful. So love them back with that same sort of gentleness and try to guide them in a more respectful way toward finding evidence or wanting evidence, right? I think that's a much better victory for reason and truth than swinging a hammer at them or being angry.
I agree, and I think that I'm far less angry than Kat has portrayed me to be, but that's all good.
I see, especially now, like you're following in the basis for your popularity because you do very gently lead a horse to water. Like I don't feel persecuted for my beliefs.
Oh, stop it, Kat. That's unbelievable. You can
is that the word or is not? Yeah. Is that not the word? That's the word.
You can lead a cat to water, but you can't make her think. Now, may I officially end the episode? Awesome. So we are going
before you end it. Before you end it, can I just add one?
Yes, please.
It's been so long.
Yes.
I've had nothing to say.
Yeah, well,
David, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, it really was.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. My God. Yeah. What an awesome episode.
My God.
My God. My
Who's
invisible
God?
Imaginary God.
Cat's God.
Yeah. Cat is God. Okay. We thank you, David. We thank you, Sheldon.
I thank you, Hannah and John, who I'm like almost like tearing up, like to see like a husband and wife.
They're not married. Close.
Goldie and Kurt.
Yeah.
Goldie and Kurt.
never. Ooh, I like that. Never mind. Okay. Well, just to see a couple just so creatively in tap is.
That is cool.
So cool.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I want to find somebody.
I'm so jealous.
I want to find somebody that does this.
I'm
and
so
loves
jealous.
It.
Even when they're not in each other's like eye line, they're doing the same. Like they're ducking and bobbing.
It's
and
a dance thing.
Yeah, it's really. They're very much in sync, and you guys are lucky to have found each other.
Okay. Well, we thank you all. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week, everybody.
Thanks for having me.
Peace.